across the plains. WCBH is on the go. Join us as we walk the Camino.
Have a look at that. Have a look at that. You can't see it because this is an audio podcast, but it's the morning of day 34. The village that we've stayed in is on a very steep hill. We've just walked up the main street of the village, out of the village now, and just as we got to the end of the village, we come around the corner and we are met with quite a view. Chan, do you want to describe the view?
It's very beautiful. It's got lots of greenery, snowy mountains, and we're away from, mostly away from the road, and we get to start off fresh and new.
We certainly do. We're standing on this sandy, stony path overlooking these green fields which just roll down the mountain and then straight up the next mountain, and as Chan said, snowy mountains off in the distance. A lot of wind turbines for generating power. Seems to be that there's a little bit of farmland around as well, but this little village, you almost could sort of take it out of Harry Potter, couldn't you? Stone village, cold, up in the mountains, very picturesque. It is the morning of day 34. We have a day of ascending up a mountain today, 18 kilometres. We leave Rabanal del Camino and head to El Acebo, 18 kilometres today. The house that we were in last night, very, very beautiful design. Imagine a big door at the front that you walk through, like a stone door, and then suddenly you're on the inside of almost like, what did you describe it as? Was it like a Roman house? There was like an entrance gate and then a series of designs and rooms on the inside.
Like a villa.
I would describe it almost like a compound, where an external gate and then like an inner area where, I don't mean a negative compound, but like a compound where there's a perimeter, then you're inside and there's a kitchen and there's a wash area, a series of rooms, staircases, etc.
That's the Roman villa design.
Very beautiful, but we've left Rabanal now and we're on our way now to El Acebo. And today's going to be, what's that golden song, Chan? How does it go?
It's like we're going up, something like that.
That's very much what we're doing today. We're going up, up, up. So it's the end of day 34. We've made it to El Acebo, and so many things really to recap today. I suppose one of the big things was that we made it to the Iron Cross. Sherilyn, do you want to give a little bit of insight into what the Iron Cross is and what people do?
So the Iron Cross sits at the highest point on the Camino Francés.
How high is that?
About 1,500 metres. And it's significant on the journey in that I think we are, is it about 70% through or something like that?
Must be close to it.
So coming close towards the end, and generally pilgrims will carry a stone or a shell or something from their home or something they found along the way. And when you get to the Iron Cross, you wait your turn and you'll see a huge mound of stones and mementos around its base, and it signifies letting go of things or releasing burdens or placing your prayers and wishes at the foot of the cross and you moving on from that. And
I brought something from home. I brought a rock. Actually, you probably wouldn't classify it as a rock, knowing that we had to keep our weight fairly light in our packs. It's probably, I don't know, go down a couple of classifications: stone, pebble. But it was something that I brought from the beach. Mm-hmm. Nice terracotta territory style colour stone, pebble. Mm-hmm. It's quite light, but it's been sitting in the top of my pack, and that's what I took to the cross today. And you took?
I had a rock from on the way, but I also brought a set of rosary beads from home that we had bought in Jerusalem from our pilgrimage to the Holy Land. So I wanted to bring that had gone from Jerusalem to Australia and now to here, and leave it at the base.
And you see that, like sometimes, people have brought trinkets and flags and crosses and medallions, and like it's almost like they've done this before and they're coming back again and say, right, next time I'm going to go, I'm going to take a couple of flags and a couple of trinkets and a couple of crosses and a couple of medallions and have that with me for all the various sites along the way. People have written on their stones as well, etc. Jan, what, you had a shell that you brought from home?
I brought a shell, like a Camino shell, and I found a few crystals along the way, so I decided to put some of those down.
It's probably good that you put some of the crystals down because there's probably a weight allowance on the flight on the way back, and I don't think that'll allow us to take all those crystals back to Australia, but that was very nice. You got a little crystal to take home though, don't you?
Sort of little, but it's sort of big as well.
Right.
Medium.
And you meet some amazing people along the journey. Today we met 3 ladies from Japan, and we walked with them probably for, 20 minutes, half an hour, having conversation. And it turns out they are ambassadors for the Camino in Japan, a sister walk. And it's run by the same, it's done the same structure in the sense that there's a Compostela where you collect stamps along the way. It's much shorter, but it's the same sort of process: walk, collect a stamp, stay somewhere, keep walking, etc. And I think there's a number of walks because they gave us actually one of the Compostelas, but they were quite amazing, those ladies, weren't they?
They were hugely inspiring, I found them, because there's a mother and daughter in that group, and the mother is 80 years old.
80.
80, and the way she moved, she was so flexible. She was amazing. The way she was walking and moving, she looked 40.
We got to a fairly boggy spot where you could either hop across a couple of rocks because it was muddy, or straddle some sticks people had put down. She was 80. She navigated that nimbly, and then there was the daughter, and then there was the auntie who was 70 years old.
Yes.
Amazing. Goes a long way around keeping movement, keeping active in your life, your diet, and all those sorts of things. To be doing that at 80. And I think that the daughter said this was her 7th Camino.
That's right. This is her 7th Camino. She said she does it every year. She does the Japanese sister trail and this one every year. And this year, I think they started from Leon, but previously she started from Burgos.
And they were doing decent promotion for the Japanese Camino as well, because they had the Japanese Compostelas with them, and they showed those to us. And hey, it worked on us, didn't it? Well, I think we left the conversation meeting some incredible people, but also thinking, wow, if we go to Japan, it's on our list. In fact, it was on our list 25 years ago. But if we go to Japan, this is one of the things that we could do, because I think she was saying about a week's more than enough time to do that walk. Now, today's walk would have to be, it sounds like I'm a broken record, one of the most scenic that we've come across so far. I think I've said that pretty much on every episode, except for the ones when we've walked along the side of the road. But it was almost like, you said that we had to have a big ascent and then a descent, but we were just on top of the world, in line with other mountaintops. Some of them had snow cover on them, looking down in the fields. It was a challenging ascent. It wasn't an easy walk today. It was 18 kilometres. And by the time we got to the end, because we had that very steep descent, and that was quite rocky, I actually found that the ascent was fine, even though you're working harder going up. I was sore by the time we got to El Acebo because of the descent and all the rocks and how cautious we needed to be on the way down.
Yeah, it was a lot slower going down, and there were really big loose rocks. You had to be careful where you placed your foot, and I think it was probably about 10 times I placed it wrong and went for a bit of a slide where the walking stick saved me. But we have only descended half of it, I think, and tomorrow we spend the rest of the day descending.
So a day for knee guards. Now, we stopped for 3 meals on the way, or 3 snacks, etc. The first one, breakfast for us, was not in the town that we came from, which was, where did we come from? Rabanal? So we didn't have breakfast in Rabanal. We had breakfast in the first town that we came across, and it was on the ascent, and that was a nice place to stop and to have a bite to eat.
It was beautiful. You said it, like we keep saying picturesque, but I think this part of the trail has been the most beautiful. These mountain villages. I think that was Fonsbadon, and we were sitting outside this stone house which had been turned into a cafe. The whole street looked like, I don't know, like it was out of a postcard or something like that. And we were watching streams of pilgrims come up the hill.
It was particularly a busy day on the path. Now, not as busy as I'm sure it gets, but for us, that started sort of late Feb over in St. John, today was much busier than what we're used to. The second place that we stopped at, the name of the town was something like Mandarin.
That's correct.
It was a couple of, well, what we could work out, a couple of sort of fairly rundown sort of houses, but there was right at the peak, a couple had their caravan, and then they had built like a permanent shelter, but had a fireplace, and it was just so welcoming. Music, flags, fire roaring, and where we got there, because sometimes you come across and you're just trying to work out, is someone just trying to make a bit of money here? And it certainly wasn't. We said, we'll just stop for a cold drink. And so we grabbed a cold drink, and they had a boiled egg. So I grabbed a boiled egg, and then, they said, we'll bring you some snacks over as well. And next thing you know, they were giving us cheese and tomato on bread and snacks. We ended up, buying a few little things there, but we could have stayed there all day, I think.
Yes, which is one of the reasons after we ate I got up, because I thought I could just sit here all day enjoying the ambience and the view. They were a lovely couple. They brought us out snacks to go with our drinks free of charge, and they would just want to sit and chat with the rest of the pilgrims. It was really quite beautiful up there. Like, I think they picked the perfect spot.
And, it's one of those things where you kind of quick scan and assess your own life. What their day looks like is being in the most beautiful scenic location, top of a mountain, greeting people as they come past, people who choose to stop and have a bite to eat or a drink with them. They engage in good conversation with them. I never got the sense that they were trying to make really any money out of us. They were just trying to cover their costs and make a little bit to sustain their living. But and it was really comfortable there. Like, it was nice. And then the third place we've only just got back from, in the town that we're in, Acebo, most of our residence was, I suppose, the first place coming into town, which is kind of nice. You get to town, not that it's a particularly big town, and this one's going down the hill. You get to town and you think, I hope my residence is the first one. I don't have to go too far. And it was. But a lot of the places, the bars, are not open yet for dinner. But one lady said, look, go down to the end of the road, about 7 minutes through the village, and then turn left when you get to the cemetery and the bicycle sculpture. And there's a place down there that's serving. Well, we went down there, and when someone tells you, just go to the cemetery and turn left, you're thinking, oh my God, where are we going? This was like a what would be called a spa,
Like
a retreat, a wilderness retreat, yeah. Something rich people and celebrities might go check themselves into for. So we went up there, and they were open, and it was pretty plush. And then they had like a menu and didn't have prices on it, but given what the structure looked like, I'm always a bit cautious of a menu without prices on it. I'm thinking, if you got to ask what the prices are, it's probably too expensive. So I asked what the prices were. It was really reasonable. Like, I think we had dinner there for the three of us, light dinner, €23, 2 burgers and a bocadillo and a couple of cold drinks as well. So, that was very nice, fresh hamburger. So then we had to walk back up the hill, back to our accommodation. And so we're doing this recording from our attic apartment, and we're in a house that is 200 years old.
200 years old, still has the original stonework, some of the original doors. And when you look out the little attic window, we're looking straight out at the mountains. And from the other window, I can see the lookout that we came down from. So it's beautiful, this little town. Very different, the architecture, with the little balconies and very Swiss village type.
Stone building, timber balcony. Expect snow to be everywhere, but it's not. Maybe in winter it is. Tomorrow is a two-knee guard day as we work our way down this mountain. There's more to come, but work our way down this mountain and just take it easy as we head towards where we're going to tomorrow. Ponferrada. Well, that's the end of day 34. Another great day on the Camino.
The rain in Spain stays mainly in the... Step by step through the sun and rain, over mountains, across the plains. WCBH is on the go. Join us as we walk the Camino.